Welcome back, First Hour Faithfuls, to yet another episode of the First Hour. This is the show where I, Colin Tanner from VideoGamesAreDumb.com, and you, the legions of First Hour Faithfuls, take a look at a recently released video game. So remember to like, subscribe, and bring the fire below in the comments for this episode, Wander on the PlayStation 4. This game has been released on a Thursday, a digital download only for PlayStation 4. That's rather unusual. Most games don't release on Thursdays for the PlayStation Network, but this one did. And more curiously, just by reading up on it for just a little bit, it says it's a non-competitive, non-combat, cooperative MMO. An MMO? A downloadable only? Haven't really heard too much about this game, so what is it? Well, I guess if it is an MMO, this will be the very first MMO we've ever done here on the First Hour, which is sort of exciting. I didn't think we would get to this until the Elder Scrolls Online, but let's get into Wander and see what this unique concept has to offer. Already, that's actually some pretty cool art right there. Now, I will say I am a bit skeptical. It sounds like a very high concept idea, and to deliver on that philosophy would require a different type of gameplay, a compelling type of gameplay, especially in the realm of MMOs, which generally are fetch quests and combat and, well, dancing, if you're into that. So, can Wander actually deliver on something? I mean, even something like Minecraft has combat, although I guess you could play just the build mode. It is taking a while to load, and I'm not sure if that's because it's attempting to connect me to other players. This game was released a little under an hour ago, so I'm not sure how many people we'll be bumping into.
How strange.
You got that right.
I've just woken up after having been asleep for what feels like a long, long time.
Oof. Okay, some frame rate dips already.
Falling asleep.
Real bad frame rate dips.
In fact, I don't really remember much of anything at all. I'm all alone, but I don't think it was always this way. This body I've woken up in is large and slow and strong. Yet it also feels familiar somehow. This whole place feels familiar somehow.
Getting a lot of pop in right
The
here.
sound of the wind through the branches, the smell of the salty sea air, and the hot sun shining through the gaps in the canopy overhead feel like old friends. I want to run through the forest and swim in the ocean and sail on the wind currents. A curious desire, since in this bulky form I surely can't do any of those things.
Yeah, getting a lot of pop in with
If
the
I
shadow and
explore more of this place, I'll find
the
others
plants.
like me. Wait a minute. I hear
Tremendous amount of
something in
pop
the
up.
distance.
It's
Oh,
non-stop.
it sounds like a voice. Could it be someone talking?
That would be me.
No. It sounds more like singing. Well, there's only one way to know for certain.
Yeah, this is already having some rather significant technical issues. Though the frame rate is remaining more consistent than it initially did for the for that zoom-in shot, the pop-in is extremely distracting, and it does not appear to be an artistic design. It is a technical problem. Some of the worst pop-up I've actually seen in the game, which is you know, real shame, because I'm really enjoying that monologue there, and this is definitely an interesting looking concept. Let's check out third person to see the pop-up continues. Yep, you can see the plants by my feet are having some issues with shadow. Yeah, I mean, it still looks quite beautiful. The use of light and shadow. I just called fireflies. Okay, call fireflies. Hold this. Oh. Direct fireflies. And perhaps I need to be in third person for this part. So I'm drawing the fireflies near. Apparently. Alright, so the fireflies right now are on me. And when I let go, they leave. So in darker areas, I will need to have the fireflies come near me to illuminate my path, perhaps? I'm not positive. Getting a look at the world, though, like I've said, nature really is one of the most difficult environments to duplicate in video games. Man-made structures have become significantly easier as time has gone on, because they simply don't have the detail of the natural world. They are created to remain consistent. Whereas nature, you know, it grows, it adapts, it changes. It's, you know, it's not by design. What is this thing right here? I mean, the character is moving quite slow, but that is bringing in a sense of ambiance and ambiance. You know what I mean. The ambiance is good. There. That's me using my brain and my vocabulary. The ambiance is good. It highlighted listen for a moment and then it disappeared. I'm not sure why. What I was supposed to do there. Appears to be a new plant that I haven't seen yet. But they are doing, I would say, a pretty successful job at replicating a jungle forest environment. I suppose we should go here. I mean, what other game can you say is letting you start off as a tree? Though I doubt you'll remain a tree for good. At least that's what I'm guessing. It would seem a bit strange to move this slow throughout an entire game. I suppose this game might be attempting some sort of minimalist design. Strangely enough, I don't appear to be able to cross this area, and I can't really tell why. Yeah, I was unable to walk over on the left side, but I can on the right. Transform. Okay, so I guess we're gonna be a flower? Or something else? Huh. What am I? Oh, I'm a human being now. Still moving rather slow. Some very, very cool music. Which appears to be a quartet and woodwind section, recorded live. Oh, I'm able to jump now. Jumping looks pretty off. It's kind of strange. She's sort of double jumping. Doesn't appear to be... Oh, wait, she can run. You gotta tap in the left stick, much like a first-person shooter. See if we can get down there from a safer height. Or let's see if what happens if she does jump. And... Nope, doesn't appear to get hurt. Does appear to get stuck somewhat. Can't move. Huh? If you can't move, press this? Huh. Oh, okay. Yeah, can't move. Okay. I've never seen another game do that. Well, or, no, I have. But it's been a while. It's usually not in the options menu. Let's get her to run. Over here. You would hope that they would design a game where you couldn't become stuck. But... Whoa. What are you standing on? You stand on something? Oh boy, you're not really standing on that. You're floating on top of that. See? Floating. Rock is down here. You can tell. Okay. She's... Okay. Okay then. Would appear to be another stone. Looks like the last transformation stone.
Sayelmesh.
What? Transform stone. What does that mean? What? Go hit both of these? No? I don't understand what's going on here.
Sayelmesh.
I did say it? Okay, I guess I said it. So now we can go away from there. Pretty unusual so far. I assume exploration is the main goal here. Since you want to do her whole glide thing she did earlier. Animations are strange. She seems to be doing just fine when she's running. She starts jumping though. Some unusual kind of hitching. Here she's run out of breath. Is that a giant cell phone? What is that? A giant Nokia? Frame rate is taking a major hit right over here. It's hard to tell if it's that or if the camera's freaking out. I guess the camera was just freaking out. Doesn't want to run. He's too tired to run right now. Not sure why that would be.
There's an Azatash tribe who live near the shore who I've made friends with recently, due mainly to our shared love of swimming. Naturally, their skill puts me to shame, but they're still willing to indulge me and teach me to get better. It seems like with each passing day, I can hold my breath a little longer than before. I think if I could, I'd like to live in the sea, just like the Azatash. There's just nothing else that compares to the feeling of floating on the waves.
Did her head just get smaller? Or am I just... did I just imagine that? I have no idea what's going on in this game. Said something about placing a map marker. So the triangle button lets you... Oh, okay, this is the map. Interesting. That's the tree. This is possibly another transformation I don't have yet. So it appears we have 5 transformations all in all. Or 1, 2, 4 transformations. Did I teleport? No. No, it's right there. Well, as an MMO, I mean, they keep calling it MMO. Even the website was Wander MMO. Um, or even the company was called Wander MMO. Uh, you know, new other players would be necessary to communicate with. I'm not positive if I'm in an online world right now. If so, that might account for some of the technical issues with pop-up and flickering. You can see the flickering coming from that window. The transformation of the landscape as things pop in. The flickering is coming from the tops of trees not appearing until a certain rate. It's a draw distance issues, really. Still, it does have me pretty intrigued to see where this goes next. Pretty standard looking MMO environment right here. With torches that will probably be lit at nighttime. I assume that there is a some sort of clock. So, would not be surprised if that you know, that falling animation is actually a pretty huge part of the game. Falling to new environments would make a lot of sense. Suppose I should explore some of these larger houses more deeply, though I'm not exactly sure of their purpose. If I go up there and it's identical to the previous location, then I will not be exploring the rest of them, because that would seem unnecessary. Yes, this is more of the same. There is a resemblance, at least for me, to Second Life. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Second Life. That was a game, and continues to be a game, which is more of like a giant chat room, where people explore environments together, create environments, create homes, and essentially live a second life. People have businesses and cathedrals, and though it's not as abstract as this game, there do seem to be somewhat of similarities. We have another stone over here that we can listen to, and we will do so right now.
I jumped off the dock today to see if I could swim. This time, instead of immediately sinking to the bottom, I was able to float. It will take some practice, but it's such an exhilarating experience that I now understand why Quattle chooses to stay in the sea all the time. Although, I expect I'll never be able to swim as fast and as far as he can.
Okay, well, so far all of the messages have been about swimming, so I think it's pretty obvious what we should go do next. Actually get into the water and check out that island over there. I'm going to try and use the docks to get a good amount of distance or jumping into the water. But I guess I can't from this angle. Huh. Whoa, now she's underwater. I'm not sure what happened. She's going underwater. I'm not sure if it'll tell me when I run out of oxygen, or what will happen if I do. You just have to point the camera to where you want to go. There does seem to be a lot of detail at the bottom of this ocean, so I would not be surprised if somehow you can actually go and explore there as well. In fact, given that seems to be a real trooper about swimming. Doesn't look like she wants to go down there. That appears to be that other civilization she was referencing that stay under the water all the time, because these appear to be some sort of buildings. Though I'm not... No, apparently I'm stuck. I can't swim any farther at the moment. Perhaps I can, but let's get back to that island first and foremost. Still seeing a lot of flickering, a lot of texture and collision, for lack of a better word. You can notice that on the left-hand side of the screen there. There's that bit of sand that's having an issue with some foliage. Very interesting building over there. Let's go try and explore that after this. I don't know what's the likelihood that we'll even encounter another player, or if this game is even online. That's really not something I'm positive on. But the areas are... Oh no, you can't swim like that. What are you doing? What is this? You're not even touching the water. The areas are peaceful and ambient enough that, yeah, we're getting a lot of issues with when she's going underwater, the entire bottom turning white. Perhaps because nothing is loading, or not loading fast enough. Now, that floating island up there, you're really interested to see how to get... Ooh, wow, what's that? There's something glowing and pink. That might be a new ability. It would make sense given that the structure of the island does have a focus point from a visual standpoint on the waterfall. Or which I thought was a waterfall. It certainly looked like one. We were getting close to there, but yeah, now I guess the water's coming back. A lot of detail popping in once again. A lot of detail popping in. Which is a real shame. Rather quiet over here. Now, how do I get up there? I do like the voice acting. The monologues seem to be well written. You know, it's something a little bit different. If I had to guess, the voice sounds like someone from New Zealand. I want to say. A lot of people will automatically assume Australia, and perhaps it is an Australian woman, but something about the inflection at the end of the sentences leads me to believe it's someone from New Zealand. But I could be totally wrong. I mean, I do want to explore these environments with the caveat that I actually find something. You know. Discovering new locations certainly is compelling in and of itself. However, so far I was on one island which looked rather similar to this one. And despite swimming across the water, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of difference here. I suppose there's perhaps, you know, some sort of story elements involving the concept of reincarnation. The headgear that she's wearing, I forget what that's from, but it is sort of hyper reminiscent of ancient religions regarding the place of nature and people. Ooh, okay, well this place looks a little different. I can't recall exactly what, but it was, you know, early AD. Had many religions that incorporated nature. As it existed all throughout history, the whole concept of Gaia and things like that, but, you know, appears to be a... Boom. Uh-oh. Couldn't turn left for some reason. Something was holding her back like a force field. Now, I want to get up. That's what I want to do. More than anything else. Okay. I want to get up wherever up is. I'm not really finding an avenue to do that. So. Maybe over here. Haven't seen her use the ability to climb or anything like that yet, so who knows what her overall abilities are or what those other transformations will allow her to do. Hopefully something will come along, though. Nothing... as I said, this game is not going for combat, and I certainly understand that and respect that. I really do. Many games are based around inflicting violence on other creatures, things, or, you know, the risk of... Whoa, what is that? Seen that? I don't even know what that is. I've never seen that. But it looks to be a technical problem. Well, I did get up, which is good news. So I certainly, absolutely, 100% respect the concept of a pacifistic game. I'm just curious to see what is going to substitute that. Something has to substitute that. And if it's merely exploring an environment, I can certainly see the appeal in that. However, I would be concerned that most people would perhaps be disappointed by the lack of crafting. Personally, I don't need crafting. Thing forgot to render again. But I feel that that is now kind of industry standard for exploration games. While I certainly celebrate the idea of a game without combat, I'm a little concerned at what gameplay mechanic can replace that. I will say, walking around this environment is it's very effective in creating, you know, it feels very tranquil. You do get that vibe. It's a very relaxing game. We have another stone over here. So I suppose this is sort of the goal, is to listen to all the stones. This is all I can assume at the moment.
The new apprentices I've been assigned have been working out brilliantly. The jewelry we've been making over the past few weeks has been some of the best I've ever seen, and the High Priestess is extremely pleased. At this rate, I'll surely be picked for Ascension soon, and I'll finally get to wear the jewelry I've worked so hard to make. I've got my eye on a certain turquoise pendant.
That's an odd way to end a sentence. I'm still going with New Zealand. Still going with New Zealand. You know, I think it's worth pointing out that so far we've heard multiple stories. Or at least multiple anecdotes about this world. None of which have carried any negative remarks. There is no concern. There is no worry. There is no struggle. There is no fight. There are goals. But they don't seem to be... It's not about taking anything. So far, it's about the improvement of oneself and the improvement of others, helping others improve themselves. So consider that for a moment, and that's actually rather special. Most games will automatically gear you towards an enemy or a conflict that must be resolved. But so far, this game hasn't. It's more optimistic and happy, if I'm being frank. Building. Draw. I tried to draw it earlier, and I don't know what it wants me to do. Like on the touchpad? Speak word. Draw. I'm not sure what they want, but... I'm actually very confused. Because I'm trying to draw it on the pad right here. For some reason this is the color red. The battery's actually fine, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check it out real quick. Yeah, my battery's fine. It shows the color red for this, which is interesting. Right? Oops, accidentally hit triangle. You don't want to do that. So I'm not sure if I've been successful in this or not.
Kunshko.
Krinska. Okay. You know, let's see here what I'm trying to do. I'm not positive that's what they want me to do or not. You'll notice that it has these two areas. I'm not actually clicking in on it. Is there something you want me to do here? Is there a particular control? Is it the square button? Is it a different button? Is it just me drawing on the touchpad? Because I can't figure it out for the life of me here. The D-pad doesn't appear to be doing anything. And now it's done talking to me. You'll notice I'm not clicking. Well, I better run away again. Then run right back.
Kunshko.
Kunska. Draw. I'm hitting the exact locations that's referencing and it's not working. Which is really unfortunate. So it appears they're either not explaining it efficiently enough. She won't speak the word. And I'm not sure why. So that's rather unfortunate. That one of the only interactive objects in the game is having some issues for me. I'm definitely trying to follow the voice. See where that voice is coming from. Because I assume that will have another transformation for me. But like I said, that's really unfortunate that the game doesn't appear to be able to actually allowing me to interact. Not supposed to be able to see your feet. It'd take me a long time to get up here, but... oh dear. So where's the voice coming from? Well, the voice the voice has gone away, which leads me to assume that I do need to get to a higher level. I mean, like, physically, like, climb up something. Oh, the voice is back. Up there somewhere. So as to how I can get up to a higher spot, I'm still not positive. And doing this would not help me at all. Oh. Oops. Whoop. Okay. He's stuck. Can't get up there. Oh boy. Okay. I mean, she doesn't take any damage. There's no health whatsoever. Really is just about exploring your environment. That's a real shame that that voice is coming from up there, because I won't be able to reach it without jumping all the way down here because she's unable to climb the environment. She is floating again. And walking in the middle of the air. Okay, well, okay. You know, I'm trying not to be too goal-oriented because I'm not sure if that's really what the game is expecting of the player. But it does feel like I'm losing a bit. Like I'm not gaining anything, maybe that's not the goal, but I feel like I'm losing something by, you know, falling down, and not being closer to the voice. Or being able to, you know, draw, which I'm still really uncertain what that's about. I mean, I'm doing it exactly as it wants, but that's not working. The speaking ability. Your guess is as good as mine. So it's difficult to tell if I'm doing anything wrong, or if the game is just having some issues. Which so far, every element of this game has had some sort of significant problem. Whether that be technical with the pop-in, whether that be gameplay with getting stuck in environments or floating in the air. So, you know. Definitely not trying to pick on this game for what it's not. But definitely have to call it out from what is obviously a goal of the title, that it's not performing correctly. So, trying to be fair here. I believe if I go over here, I should be getting back up to where I was. Now, I have to bring it up once again. Are there supposed to be other players? Is it fair to look at this game so early on without other players? I'm going to go with yes. Even though other players will certainly enhance the experience. Possibly, you know, with the inclusion of voice acting, that could certainly ruin that. So I'm not sure if voice acting is allowed in this game. Hopefully not. You know, I hate to say that, but having somebody going, "Sure, man, what the fuck? Climb up the fucking oh god, I can't get the fucking god," you know, would really ruin it. While someone's playing like loud music in the background, like thrash metal or hip hop, would definitely take away from what this game's doing. It is worth noting that this game is just sound effects. The only music so far in the game has been early on with the bit of orchestrated music. Once you transform into the woman, or the singing voice, which is rather significant if you think about it. Is this cave I can explore? It's not. Lots of stuff just fading out and fading back in. It's this is the worst pop-in I've ever seen in a PlayStation 4 game. And I played Cabela, so that says all, doesn't it? Okay, so I should be able to climb up. No, it can't climb up there because they're all stones. This another rock or the same rock? Hard to tell from this distance. I believe this is another one of those narrative rocks where she's just going to tell a little anecdote about her day or her goals, which I think are pretty interesting. Just because they're different, you know. It's not, oh, where did I put that key card? Remember the code, Jensen, or something like that, or, you know, log 12 date 4. Subject has begun to whatever. You know. Here you go.
I've been to some interesting places in my storm travels, but this village is something else. Their art is spectacular, but I have to say, these griffins are just so plain pompous. Some of them are polite, even though I can tell they're secretly judging me for being a transformer, but many of them make no effort to hide their disdain. I think they've been isolated for far too long, and they've gone strange. Don't even get me started on those Hira. They have running errands and fawning over them constantly.
That's a really natural piece of dialogue, and it's performed very well. You can hear the inflection, you can hear the tone. It sounds like a real person. This does not sound like voice acting. So kudos to whoever performed that piece. I mean, the writing in it is okay, but it's the performance that's really selling that. You simply couldn't have that performed in almost a generic video game manner. I'm just kind of like, but I must say, these griffins are far too... You know, that wouldn't fly. To kind of hear her playful tone, that she's just in a really good mood. I mean, it's just unusual to play a game where the main character is in a really good, introspective mood. Oh, but these technical issues. I think there's something mildly therapeutic about the concept of this game. So I'm really rooting for it to hopefully get some patches out there and quickly resolve a lot of the pop-in and the weird floating and perhaps whatever's going on with the touchpad's controls. I'm not positive what is meant to even happen there. Let's get up here. I think I am getting to higher ground. That's good. I mean, in the world of video games, this is pretty darn unique. Not only for its subject matter, which I could say has been explored by other titles in the past, but never quite with this level of production. And while I am harping on about, once again, the technical issues, I do want to point out that as a 3D rendered, voice acted world, this is... I've never quite played anything quite like it. So I am very curious to see what it would be like to play with some other people. If it could maintain that identity with other characters playing together. It's very strange. She gave up on running at one point on the beach, but since then hasn't had any sort of issue, and I'm not quite sure why that was, or what was holding her back, or if she ran out of breath, because there's absolutely no problems right now. I do want to get up there. A good look at this environment. Just try and not think about the pop-in, and you can really appreciate the level of lighting and shadow. Although I don't notice any transparency on the leaves. That's really probably asking too much given the density of the foliage. I just, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if you started seeing games like this in like a therapist's office. You know? Just, you know, it's, you know, and obviously I'm doing a video right now, but I can kind of feel it tugging at me a bit that this game is meant to or intended for a state of mindfulness. You know, being present in the moment. being accepting of the moment. These are all concepts that have been around for a very long time, but you don't really hear about them in video games. Oof. I'm trying to root for you here. Seem to be getting somewhere here. No, she's not able to climb that. And she's floating in the air again. Oh, man. Oof. Don't suppose they expected anyone would actually get over here. I mean, maybe I shouldn't even be climbing on the rocks, but they seem to be laid out in a manner that would enable me to use them as platforms. Uh-oh. We're gonna be stuck? No. Like I said earlier, the whole concept of, you know, crafting and creating in a game like this, or I guess the lack thereof, might disappoint more modern fans of exploration games. Not to mention a lack of combat. But to include any of these would probably betray the spirit of what they're going for. Though this pop-in would certainly be fine just going away. No problem with that. And I will say the trees and the plants are diverse enough that you do feel like you're exploring a new environment. Oh, nice little bird sound there. Just trying to get up. That seems to be a tall order, for whatever reason. All these rocks are always in the way. Sometimes the path is arbitrarily blocked by some sort of force field. Like right now. Can't get over there. I assume maybe that force field was like intended for certain types of angles, but given that the path so far just allows me to ascend in any direction, it just doesn't really fit together. Huh. Okay. I don't know how to get up there. So maybe not. Maybe don't go up there. Suppose I should just try and walk away. Somewhere else. Unless... have I finally found something? I have not. More rocks. Maybe if I run up, there won't be rocks this time. There are rocks. I'm very interested to see what the comments below are going to be this week. I can somewhat predict people discussing how boring the game looks. Which is fine. Most games attempt to immediately capture your attention through, you know, explosions or fast-paced action scenes, intense graphics and motion. And this game has gone for a very, very, very different idea. Very deliberate, slow opening, slow gameplay, but intentionally slow. I think you know, when I do these videos, if I say something like slow, people might take that to mean bad. You know, there are certain words people just they've filtered into this. It's like a duality structure in their brain where this word is good, this word is bad, this word is good, and I think that's not very healthy. Slow can be a compliment. A game like Journey is slow. Is that a bad game? No, it's a great game. Well, why'd you call it slow? Because it's slow. You know? And so I would say the same goes here. Slow is a good thing. Slow is a nice thing. However, like I said, I'm having a lot of difficulty figuring out exactly the locations of where I'm supposed to go. It's very problematic. Now, I don't want to be told where to go, but having some generic barriers isn't helping much. Just having, oh, the rocks are in the way. They're going to be in the way for miles and miles and miles. That doesn't help much. Let me see. Huh. One big circle? I guess. Guess that's about 10 minutes left. I'm not really sure what I could possibly get done in that amount of time. And I'm higher up than I was. Perhaps... Let's see if she can just walk up this wall. Ah, okay. If you ignore all the popping, it's very pretty. It might not blow your mind, but if this is intended for massive multiplayer, it will look quite nice with all the players together.
While gathering flowers, I was certain I heard far off in the distance the music of the Oran. I've never seen one, but others say they sometimes move so slowly as to be indistinguishable from an ordinary tree.
Oh.
How one can stay so still is a mystery to me.
Well, okay. But you were a tree. And she even referenced herself as a transformer. So she's not human. She's a transformer. So she can... you know, like, that does sound like it's something else from some other ancient religion. The idea of a natural spirit, you know, Princess Mononoke type stuff. Can transform into different natural creatures. I mean, it's interesting because the voice you hear, when you click on those listen, the voice you hear is very patient. And that's actually, you know, that's a relief because not always being sure of where you're supposed to go or what you're supposed to do or if you're going in the right direction. And hearing a very patient voice, a very accepting voice, a very, you know, curious voice, happy voice, that helps a lot. Well, now we found some stairs. That's the first instance of stairs in the game. Which is awesome. Because we must be doing something right. Or not. Maybe. I was curious. Was that supposed to be a shadow? Interesting. Alright. Hopefully we can get up far enough to perhaps find where that song is coming from. Wow, I wish I would have seen this area first, but whatever. I bet there's a lot of interesting stuff in that structure, and I didn't go look at it. Oh well. I can imagine this game will acquire a fan base of some sort. Maybe not a very large one. I mean, how could it? Frankly, this is essentially going against every bit of a popular design in a game. So, sorry. But, I imagine that the right people will find this. As for the studio, I think it's critical that they rope this game back in and fix a lot of these problems. I mean, you're seeing them right now. It's you know, it's unacceptable. You can't have that. It doesn't look good, and people know it doesn't look good. And you don't have to be technically minded to notice these types of issues. What's going on here? Why can't you climb? You can climb up this, but not that. Why can't you climb up that? What was that? Did you see that? What was that? It was a wall of text. I swear. You saw it, right? Someone crank this back. No, wait, I can't pass that up. It was a wall of text. Am I crazy? Did anyone else see that? I must be losing my mind. There's no way that really just happened. Huh, looks like I really can't make it. I've got to go back and watch the video and see what that was. That's so unusual. So unusual. Closing up on 3 minutes left. I do need to talk a little bit about something for the final few minutes. Something very important regarding this game. And, you know, I hope this will come out correctly here. Can I get up on this rock? There we go. That's a nice image to leave the game at. Okay. Should you play Wander on the PlayStation 4? I always say the same thing. Take a look at the game. Do you like what you see? If you like what you see, go pick yourself up a copy. But that copy will run you $24.99. $24.99. $25 for this game. Is this experience worth that? Now, I try not to take price into account, but I feel like this is necessary, because this is an exorbitant price for a game that has severe technical problems. A game that has severe gameplay issues where you can get stuck. And now you might be saying, you only got stuck once. That's true. But any game that's going to put it right in the pause menu, there's got to be something up. You know? I like the idea of exploring. I like the idea of taking my time. I like the idea of embracing the overall experience of mindfulness, of nature. I've said I like the dialogue. I said I like the voice acting. But it's very difficult to get to those locations. And not difficult in a way of it takes time. If it took time, that would be okay. But these environments simply aren't very big, or aren't as big to warrant, 20 minutes trying to find a way up a mountain. That's not a good thing. Now, maybe you're just supposed to unlock a different ability. Maybe I went out of order. Maybe you're supposed to go get that ability at the other island, or whatever. There's still 2 more abilities that I don't know about. And maybe those 2 abilities will enhance the game to such a degree that it will be absolutely worth your $24.99. An experience that you will not be able to have anywhere else. What is the likelihood of that? I don't know. I mean, frankly, this game has already surprised me. Its approach to avoid combat. And, as it says, to embrace cooperative gameplay. Now, we didn't get a chance to take a look at any cooperative gameplay. There's nobody else playing this game. And I don't think many people will. Why would they? $24.99. I'm not saying that they don't deserve money. I don't want to ever get that approach and say like, oh, you're overcharging for this game. But this experience, for that price, compared to everything you can download on PlayStation Network for $24.99 or less, all the things you can put together are more recognizable, they're more compelling, and frankly, they're more traditional. This non-traditional experience probably won't entice very many people. And that's a shame. Because I think it's important for the general video game enthusiasts, the community of video game enthusiasts, to begin to entertain alternative philosophies for games. No, we don't always need to kill something, hunt something, fight something, run from something. There doesn't need to be fear or anger or even joy in killing or being killed. We can have a game that is solely based around taking a walk, swimming. Not even in a competitive sense, not even as a sport, but merely to freely explore and embrace your environments and, be in the now. That's cool. Can this game deliver on that? I don't know. I didn't see anybody else here. You didn't see anybody else here. So I'm not sure. But I hope this concept lives on and is embraced, because I know it's a good idea. And this idea will continue. It will happen in other games. 50 years from now, we'll still have games like this. Guarantee it. But what I'm worried about is the frequency of those types of games. I think we need more of these. I'm not talking about an annual franchise or anything like that. Alternative philosophies for game design. Hope it happens. Wander on the PlayStation 4, is it worth it? In my book, no. No, there's too many issues. But I am optimistic that this can be resolved in a way that will encourage a wider audience to embrace it. But at $24.99, no. And I don't take price into account generally, but I'm not saying you shouldn't buy it for $25. I'm saying most people will not. Best of luck, Wander. But that's going to do it for this episode of the First Hour. Remember to like, subscribe, and bring the fire in the comments below. And, yeah, I'll see you for the next episode of the First Hour. Thank you for watching.